Hi, Jen. Um, Responding to your post, I thought it was a great post. I I I can relate to trying to cut it down because I had to cut mine down a lot. In fact, I think I cut mine down so much it may not make any sense. I'm not sure. Um, Also, I like to look at the camera when I'm responding to a post, but I did take some notes based on your video, and so I'm going to consult my notes. So please excuse me for looking down, looking up. I don't like doing that, but for this one, I'm going to do it. Um, I liked your example of when you were unintentionally disinvited. I thought that was a great example because it was something you were really looking forward to, um, and you felt rushed. So, if you're feeling rushed, it's something, especially if it's something you really were looking forward to, that can certainly feel disinviting, but unintentionally so. I don't, the large crowds, like you mentioned, I don't think it was anything intentional. So I think that was a great example. I also loved sort of the redemption here on how you're the same sort of event that was unintentionally disinviting became intentionally inviting when you got to go back and take your time, and that was pretty cool. I didn't see that one coming. I like that. Um, I think you nailed it when you said unintentionally inviting. For your example, when you said that everyone meant well, I think that sort of just epitomizes from what I understand from the reading, unintentional inviting. People meant well. If you mean well, but there was no. You said there was no direction. There was no purpose, no clarity. That to me is a really good example of being unintentionally inviting. I think we've all been in those situations. Um, the intentionally disinviting that you said, boy, nothing says intentionally disinviting like locking you out of your room. I think that might be the best example of intentionally disinviting that I've heard. Um, and again, I can relate. Whenever I watch people's posts, and whenever I watched your post, it's always brings me back to my examples too, based on your examples, and um, just being in those situations where things aren't run well, or you just don't feel welcome, or there's some school buildings that I've been in where even before you interact with any other humans, you just get a bad feeling. Some places they just have a bad feeling, and I can't explain it. It's almost as if the culture and climate of a place almost takes on it's like this entity, or so. I don't know. I'm getting crazy. But I hopefully know what I'm saying. But sometimes you go into some place and you just like this place just doesn't feel right. And then you start talking to the people and you're like, yeah, that's why it just it's not a good happy place, not a positive place. Um, I like that you admitted that you kind of cut across all categories in your leadership, but that you lean more towards sort of the intentionally inviting, which that doesn't surprise me. You're a very genuine, inviting person, and you seem to, you know, I know you from the Summer Institute a little bit, but you really seem to have purpose and clarity in what you're doing. You seem very intentional and very thought out. So that doesn't surprise me. So I'm glad you said you're on the positive side of that spectrum, but I'm also glad that you're open to admitting that you might be displaying characteristics of all four. Because I think if we're being honest, that probably all in that boat. I don't want to speak for everyone. I'm certainly in that boat. I certainly feel like I spend time in all four. I don't want to spend time in all four. I certainly don't want to be intentionally disinviting, but I know I've done it. Shouldn't have, but I've done it. Despite my best efforts, I'm not always the leader I want to be. But I used to beat myself up. I used to come home at night and I go, boy, that was whew, that was bad. But I've evolved a bit to be a lot more reflective rather than just beating myself up. I think reflection is super important. We both selected scenario 3. I think we had a similar response. We both started with the clarity and collaboration. We talked about some compromise with some multiple dates, perhaps. And I think we both felt like you can't alienate the faculty. I think we both kind of agreed with that. posting something negative that's sort of threatening, and if you don't do this, this is going to happen. I have never seen that go well. I can't think of an environment. I haven't been everywhere, but I can't think of an environment where teachers would be like, oh, okay, let's go. That's not reality. That's just, and even if they do that, they're that's more compliance than it is collaboration and buy-in. You have to have buy-in. Teachers have to buy into what you're doing. You got to work together. That posting something, this isn't going to work. Okay, that's it. So those are the notes based on the video. I always enjoy watching your videos and reading your responses, Jen. So hopefully this made sense. I am exhausted and kind of loopy from the week, but hope you enjoyed my post of your post. So have a great weekend.